Welcome back to Genzinsights. I'm Glenn. Today I'm going to be creating my early playoff prediction for the NBA. Just so you know, this is the first time I've looked at any of the West and East teams and even thought of the concept. So cut me a little bit of slack. I might be off on a couple of these teams. A couple of these teams might be a lot better than I anticipate. But let's go ahead and jump right into the video. I went ahead and I created a Word document just to have the teams in place. But I just have 8 West teams here, 8 East teams. I'm also going to put, the lottery teams down here. The ones that are going to have a high draft pick and have the, chance to get the best teams in the draft next year. But let's go ahead and let's start with the Western Conference teams. For number 8 here, well, first off, let's just go through. I don't think the Pelicans are going to make it. I don't think the Kings will. I don't think the Grizzlies, nor the Timberwolves, nor the Thunder. I do think the Nuggets, the Rockets will not. The Jazz will. The Blazers will. So this one is tough just because Kawhi is going to be hurt this year. I don't know how much he would be playing. I don't even know if the Clippers will make the playoffs. I feel like they could still make an 8 seed. But okay. So at number 1, I'm going to be putting the Lakers. I do think they're going to have the best record in the West. I think they just have more talent. I think because they also added a lot of veteran depth. I think that just they're going to win a lot of games, even when one of the big 3 is sitting out. They're going to be one of the most high-powered teams, and like I said, just overall have the most talent. With a very good defensive led by AD and Frank Vogel, head coach. So I will put them at number 1. If you guys actually want, I am going to be doing a Laker video soon, going through their schedule as well as some other teams, giving my predictions of the full entire schedule for the season. So if you can, please make sure to check that out. It'll be coming soon. And also, please make sure to drop a like on this video. Let me know what your opinions are on the East and West Conference teams this year. Give me your predictions and let me know where mine was different than yours. But for second here, I do think that the Warriors are going to be very good. Clay isn't going to come back till December. I think that might make a difference, but I do see them a top 4 seed. But I also could see the Mavericks being very high as well. Honestly, I even think that the Mavericks could be the 3rd or 4th seed, but I think that they might be a little lower. I think right here, I'm going to have to put the Warriors. I do think that Steph will be able to carry until Clay comes back, and overall, I think they will finish the season off a lot hotter. They'll end up winning probably. I haven't went through their roster, or their schedule rather, but they probably win between 56 to 58 games, I would say. But I'll have to go through their schedule and make sure. But for third here, I'd have to say it's going to be either between the Nuggets, the Mavs. It's going to be between the Nuggets, the Mavs, and the Jazz here. The Jazz are always a really good regular season team, but I do think the Nuggets are a lot better. I think not a lot better team overall, but a lot better this year than last year because they added Jamal Murray back. So I do see the Nuggets probably having the number 3 seed. Well, no, actually, I do have the Suns and then the Nuggets. I do think the Suns will still be very good next year. I think with Chris Paul coming back to the Suns for another 4 years, I do see him having a little bit of injury concerns. But this year he was relatively very healthy, best season in a long time. So hopefully for him, he can maintain that and stay healthy for a long time. But the Nuggets, and then I would probably have the Jazz here. And honestly, the Blazers may trade Dame, and they may not even make the playoffs. It could give the Clippers or the Spurs an opening there. I think the Mavericks are very slept on. I do have them probably as my 6th seed here. I think they're better than the 7th seed that they were last year. Luka's going to be, continuing to grow into the league and show that he's, one of the faces of the league. And I expect him to, start getting the Mavs, closer to that top 1 seed for years to come. For 7th seed here, I would probably have to go with. It just depends if Dame stays. If Dame does stay, it would be the Blazers. But if he doesn't, then the Clippers have a really good chance to get the 8th seed. And the Spurs would have a decent chance as well. And even the Pelicans could sneak into the 8th seed there. I do think that the Clippers rather could though end up getting the 8 seed. I do believe that they may, end up not having a great season without Kawhi and may fall off just right there at the end. The West is probably, as competitive as been, and as even whenever the Steph and KD Warriors were in there, it's just as competitive as it was then. Very, very deep Western Conference team. So this could change a lot. Injuries change everything. But so far, I think this list is looking very good. So right now, the Warriors are gone. Mavericks, Lakers, Suns, Clippers, Spurs are still there. All righty, so now we have, and I do think the Rockets will be a lottery team. I do think the Thunder definitely will be one of the highest lottery teams. Timberwolves will be good. I don't know if they will be good enough to make the playoffs, but they could be a sleeper, someone who I'm sleeping on right now that could be very good next year. The Grizzlies could make it. Really, I think the Pelicans have a really good shot here. But ultimately, I do think the Blazers are going to go ahead and probably take that 7th spot if Dame stays. So for the West, we have the Lakers #1, Warriors, Suns, Nuggets, Jazz, Mavs, Blazers, and Clippers. I think that's could definitely be what we see if Kawhi comes back and they have a first-round matchup between the Lakers and Clippers. That'll be the matchup we've been wanting for so long. So that could be a great thing for the NBA right there. But also you have to, keep in mind that there's going to be a play-in tournament, so these seeds could get, mixed around as well. But I do think these are probably the top 6 seeds in the West, with the last 2 kind of being, if they all stay intact, they're probably going to make the playoffs, but they could very easily fall off. But now let's go down to the Eastern Conference. So obviously for East, we're going to have the Nets as #1. We're going to have the Bucks #2. This is fairly pretty easy here, relatively easy. And I think we would have the Cavs, obviously a lottery team. So congrats, Cavs. The Hawks will make the playoffs. The Heat will make the playoffs. The Sixers will make the playoffs. The Hornets could. The Pistons will not make the playoffs. The Magic will not make the playoffs. The Wizards will not make the playoffs. Wizards will be a good team. They'll have probably 30 wins or so, but they won't make the playoffs. Celtics will. The Bucks will, and I want to let you, or the Bulls will rather, and I want to let you guys know as well. I'm going to be making a video about the Bulls schedule as well. If there's another team that you want to see a full schedule reaction to, prediction for, let me know. Drop in the comment section below, and I'll definitely do that for you guys. No problem. But for #3 here, I think we would probably have to go with Miami Heat. They're going to be very solid. They have a very, very deep roster. I think following that, it'll probably be between the 76ers and the Bulls. I think the Bulls are going to be very good. And I think depending on what happens with Ben Simmons, that could ruin, that could mess up a lot for them. I could definitely see them as the 4 seed, but I do think the Bulls are going to go ahead and get that. With 76ers struggling this year, but possibly having a great year next year once they figure out exactly what they're going to do. I could definitely see that happening. So the 76ers, the Bulls out of there. The Raptors will not make the playoffs next year. So now we have it between the Celtics, Knicks, Hawks, Hornets, and Pacers. I think this is going to be between the Celtics and the Hawks here. They're both going to make the playoffs. I do like the Celtics more than the Hawks. I think that honestly, I think the Hawks is more of a Cinderella story. I do love Trae Young. I think he's very, very talented. But I don't see them doing that again, at least not for a couple years. They have to rebuild, and they're going to have to put some good pieces around Trae Young for that to happen again. I believe in a heavier Western or an Eastern Conference, it's going to be very hard to get to the Nets, Bucks, Heat, Bulls, especially that top 3 seed there. So they're going to want to get that 5th seed, to really even try to make a push the Eastern Conference Finals once again. But now with them out, we still have the Knicks, the Hornets, and the Pacers. This is a really tough one. I really do like the Knicks. I think they're very defensive mentality. Have a very good defensive mentality. The Hornets have a lot of young, fun players with LaMelo. But what's great is there is a play-in tournament, so I think we'll see LaMelo in the play-in tournament again, probably as the 9th seed. I think they're very good. I think the Pacers are good and slept on too. But the Hornets are very exciting. I could see them being a 10th or 11th seed as well. But my guess would be they're the 9th seed, and the Knicks do get the 8th seed and end up having a New York versus New York Eastern Conference first matchup, 1 versus 8, and maybe in the West as well. Lakers Clippers, first matchup as well. That would be great to see. Obviously, the Spurs they'll be decent. They're not going to be a lottery team whatsoever. The Blazers here I have them making the playoffs. Jazz, Rockets will be, desperately, in the lottery as well. Thunder, like I said, Timberwolves. So yeah, that's my official prediction here. Let me know what you think. Obviously, it'd be Lakers versus Clippers, Warriors versus Blazers, Suns versus Mavs, which would be a great series, and Nuggets Jazz. I think that's a very good series. And then Nets versus Knicks, Bucks versus Hawks, Heat versus Celtics, and Bulls versus 76ers. I like that Bulls versus 76ers first round matchup if that was to happen. But yeah, that is Gen Z Insights, rankings of the East and West playoff teams for this upcoming season. Early playoff prediction, obviously, like I said, injuries could happen. There could be teams that are being slept on that either make a trade or possibly a player just grows into a player that we never seen coming. There's crazy thing that happens in the NBA, and we've seen it time and time again. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think of this video overall. Let me know what you think of my list, where you differ and where you're alike. Overall, I think we got it pretty good though, and we'll have to see at the end of the season how wrong or right this was. But other than that, like I said, this is Gen Z Insights prediction. Please comment, like this video below, and make sure to subscribe if you're new as well. That would help the channel out tremendously. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This is Gen Z Insights. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.